So Fox News pounces because Biden says that the pandemic is over. But do they really have any basis to complain? Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. So it strikes me watching Fox News is just how relentless they are on attacking President Biden. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, but the Democrats attacked Donald Trump throughout his presidency, but there's a qualitative difference here. You see, there was nobody who uncritically gives President Biden a pass, the way Fox News uncritically gives Donald Trump a pass, and gave him a pass while he was president. So Fox News is really not news at all. I mean, it's just basically a partisan organ for the Republican Party at this point. And oh, what a Republican Party. Let's check out this video here where we see just how far they go to try to make something pretty innocuous seem like it's a big scandal. Let's check it out.
Finding a politician who tells you the truth, a lot easier said than done. But once in a blue moon, even the biggest liar in Washington will let the truth slip out.
Now wait, President Biden is the biggest liar in Washington? As I recall, Donald Trump is the guy who has the infinite list of lies according to the fact checkers. Not President Biden, but yet these guys have no problem with that. Let's keep watching.
Over the weekend, Joe Biden did just that.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over. If you notice, no one's wearing masks. Everybody seems to be in pretty good shape. And so I think it's changing.
Okay, let's pause there and just reflect on what was actually said by President Biden. What he was reflecting upon is the fact that the pandemic as a cultural phenomenon is over. People are out walking out and about. Most people do not wear masks anymore. Schools are not closed down. We have vaccines. We have treatments for it. It's not like how it used to be when literally the pandemic was spreading like wildfire, and if you caught it, you could potentially die. Now, truthfully, there is a certain number of people who are still dying as a result of the pandemic, but really it's become something like the flu that we just kind of live with. I mean, every year, thousands of people die from the flu, and yet that doesn't stop us from going out and living our lives. And that's kind of how the COVID pandemic is evolving. Now, that's what President Biden said. And if anybody disagrees with me, I'd love to hear your comments there, but I think he was pretty clear on what he said. Now, let's see how Fox News interprets that.
Oh, Joe, doesn't sound like you were supposed to say that. And as soon as he did, the White House rushed out to walk it back, saying the president's comments do not mark a change in policy toward the administration's handling of the virus. Biden's press team even had to work overtime to correct the record. Watch.
The president said, and he was very clear in his 60 Minutes interview, that, COVID remains a problem and we're fighting it.
Pretty sure he said it's over, but fine.
That's exactly what he said, was what Karine Jean-Pierre said. He said it's over, but they're still fighting COVID. He didn't say there's no more COVID in America. He didn't say we're stopping to work on it. He said that the pandemic, the shutting down, the panic over the fact that we didn't have vaccines and didn't have treatments, that's all over now. It doesn't mean that COVID doesn't exist anymore. Let's keep watching.
He was so clear. It wasn't just the White House who tried to fix Biden's mess. Democrats all came out to say today what Biden really meant to say is that COVID's not actually over.
Do you agree the pandemic is over, Madam Speaker?
I believe that we need some more resources to be sure that it's over.
The president's comment was that we have the ability to treat COVID, both in terms of testing and boosters, and so the panic of a pandemic is not present.
I think what the president was trying.
I think that's exactly what the president said. She said it very articulately, actually. I have to really give her credit on that. But that's pretty much exactly what the president said. Let's keep watching.
To say is that the worst of the pandemic is over.
Even late-night hosts, besides Gutfeld, couldn't believe Biden just told the truth.
I was expecting the end of a 2.5-year nightmare to be announced on the floor of the Detroit Auto Show. Dr. Fauci was like, oh, God, it's 2020 all over again. Oh, my God. For the rest of the interview, whenever Biden answered a question, the staffer quickly read the car engine. It's like,
Now, are we really going to rely upon the late-night talk show hosts for commentary on what's happening politically? Let's keep watching.
That's why we're going to go to war with...
He said the pandemic is over, which is weirdly not reassuring at all. It's like saying Freddy Krueger is dead and he's never coming back.
Yeah, no one's wearing masks, right, audience?
But the person who really took it personally was Dr. Anthony Fauci, because it's the good doctor who gets to say when it's time to give up the power. So as soon as the news broke, Fauci rushed to the first camera he could find to say, not so fast. COVID isn't going anywhere.
We are not where we need to be if we're going to be able to, quote, live with the virus, because we know we're not going to eradicate it.
Dr. Fauci.
Didn't the president say we still have a lot of work to do on COVID and it's not over? Seems pretty consistent to me. Let's keep watching.
Saying the president is just speaking in his personal capacity. Don't mind him. So, what should we be doing?
That's not at all what Dr. Fauci said. What Dr. Fauci said is we still have work to do to deal with COVID, which is exactly what the president said. Let's keep watching.
Wearing your double masks and letting the Democrats just dominate you over a permanent pandemic? Yep, pretty much. Doesn't sound like Biden's in charge here, does it? The president says one thing.
Are there any shutdowns in Democratic states right now? I don't think so. Let's keep watching.
And the staffers, the Democrats, and the media, even Fauci, all come out and say another. They did the same thing when Biden said he was going to war with Russia and China, and now they're doing it when he said COVID's been crushed. Every time the guy talks, they all say, don't take the president seriously. No wonder they don't let him go out and talk.
I'm not supposed to be answering all these questions. I'm going to get in trouble with my staff. Yeah, go ahead, but I pretend that you didn't answer you. I'll take your questions, and as usual, folks, they gave me a list of the people I'm going to call on. Pakistan should not, and Afghanistan should be people.
Okay, so now we wonder why people think that President Biden isn't all there or is too old for his job. They edit together segments to make it seem like he's incoherent. Those comments he made were joking, just as Stephen Colbert's joke, frankly, was funny. Do you think that everybody arrived there at the studio wearing masks? No, they handed out masks so that they were able to make it into a joke. And yet they defend Donald Trump when he makes fun of disabled people and saying, oh, that's just a joke. Or talks about grabbing pussies because, oh, that's just a joke. They say that consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds, but I gotta tell you, you don't need to worry about consistency on Fox News. In fact, I had a great suggestion from one of my viewers the other day that maybe they need to be renamed, since they're really not Fox News. They need to be renamed Fox News, spelled N-O-O-S. I think that's a pretty good idea and would probably clarify a few things. In fact, the problem that Democrats seem to face is that while the mainstream media critically covers both the Republicans, as in Donald Trump, and the Democrats, as in Joe Biden, Fox News says negative things about the Democrats and positive things about the Republicans no matter what. And there's no alternative on the Democratic side that does the same thing. That's how Fox News is able to perpetuate its lies through its ecosystem. And if you want to see a video where I talk more about this problem, check out this video over here, where I talk about just how the mainstream media, with its effort to be balanced, has created an opening for Fox News to essentially poison political discourse in America. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.